Okay, welcome to Yin and Restore. As I let you guys know, you want to grab a bolster, blanket, ball. If you don't have any of those items, just add extra of what you do. The ball's kind of important though, so some kind of ball. Doesn't have to be tennis. We'll make it work. So starting in our cross-legged position on some kind of support. Whatever cross-legged position serves you today, right? You can cross more so the feet come out. You can take it wider so it's more crossing at the ankles, knees are dropping down. Something that allows those knees to be at or below the knee level. The hip level, right? So that you have that anterior pelvic tilt at the pelvis. Close down your eyes. I do have a mudra today, but we'll get there in just a minute. Turn the palms down, draw elbows back underneath shoulders. Okay, let the low back curve. Take the pelvis forward so that your mid back can lean back, so that those shoulders are truly over the hips. And then noticing where the skull is in relationship to your spine. You want to get it back over the support there. And all of those things without a hardening around the adjustments, right? Let it be soft. Let your breath support the alignment as well. Because even though this is the healthiest way to sit for your muscles and your organs, gravity makes it feel like it's a hard thing to do. So we just have to remind our brain with our breath and just your awareness to where your bones are right now. Start just noticing that. If you're not 100% sure, make something up. Right? We've seen enough skeletons to kind of get the gist of it. Allowing the stacking of the bones in this aligned position. Let the muscles relax. The muscles are more for our dynamic movement. As you breathe deeper, let the tension drain out of your head, your jaw, your throat. Let that soften into awareness down into your body. Just coming in, you've made it to the mat. The commute is shorter for most of us, but it still sometimes can feel like a feat to get here. So thank yourself, honor that you are here. This mudra is pretty simple, so try and keep your eyes closed. With the palms down, you're gonna make fists, keeping the thumbs out. So just curl the fingers into the hand, and then draw your fist back to your hip creases. So they're just settling palms down, so the fingers are curled down. Thumbs are pointing straight out towards each other, towards your midline, and that's your mudra. And if you want to check it out, you can open your eyes and see. And just again, letting the elbows are moving back a little bit further now, so that should support some of that lift of the chest. Keep the shoulders and head soft. This is the Adho Marudana mudra. Its core quality is centering. It's especially helpful for instilling that sense of center, facilitating pelvic stabilization, optimizing the health of the reproductive and urinary systems, and enhancing emotional equanimity. One of my favorite words. So this mudra is calming and centering gesture with some energizing qualities. The mudra deepens our connection to the pelvis, the seat of the water element, cultivating an experience of vast inner sea that holds tremendous potential energy. As we attune to our center more deeply, we're able to channel its energy outward to nourish our entire being. As Adho Marudana mudra deepens our sense of centering and naturally cultivates an experience of equanimity, enhancing our ability to rest within our center, our deep sea of inner peace, no matter what is happening in our surroundings. Just take a few more moments with that breathing. Noticing that center and kind of be working more in that second chakra around the hips. Just cultivating that awareness. Bring hands to heart center, press the palms in. Adding any intention to your practice outside of that mudra setting, or looking at our center, finding more balance. Bow your chin towards your chest. Namaste. And the backs of the hands to the thighs. Lift the head. Open eyes. Good. We'll move right to Baddha Konasana. Maybe extend legs out. Just uncurl them from your cross-legged position. Circle the ankles in both directions, like you're trying to clean out a peanut butter jar. Then go the other way. Just get that movement into the calves. Okay, so Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, soles of the feet together, and we're all gonna sit on something. So maybe I actually dig a block for this one. But again, it's just gonna depend on your pelvic mobility. And then if you're on a hard surface, you probably wanna put a blanket under those ankle bones. Right, so feet a little bit closer together unless they're really high up, and then you're gonna take them further away so that you can accommodate the pelvis again. Start by pressing the entire sole of the foot in towards its mate, right? Especially the big toe side of the foot. And then allow the knees, keep pressing feet together, allow the knees to separate out towards the sides. And just be with what is happening around the hips. Not dumping the contents of the low belly out, just a gentle draw in, nothing hard, just to keep that stabilization. And then maybe start to come forward. Now being up on this block brings a little more intensity into this than normal, so take your time. Because you have time. Spending about 3 minutes here. Keeping the jaw and the throat soft. You can always swallow a few times, maybe wiggle that lower jaw side to side. Watching your breath as it moves through the shape. Notice any areas that might feel closed off. Keep sending the breath there. Might be because of habit or positioning. Notice how the sensations start to shift as you stay in the shape longer. Use your breath. 3 more breath cycles. Walking the torso up, stack the vertebrae, and then take underneath your knees and draw them in. Stand your feet. Wrap your arms around your legs. Just allow the legs to soften. Outside of the legs, inside. Noticing the sensations. And then coming around to hands and knees. Just moving through cat and cow. So we kind of jumped right into a long stretch. So take your time here, allowing the pelvis to initiate the movement. So tuck the tail and let it ripple until your chin tucks. And then turn the tail up to the sky and let it ripple until the crown of the head lifts. Moving back and forth with so much awareness to that relationship of pelvis, spine, shoulders, hip, or head. Of course, any other movements, if you want to find a little lateral opening, wagging the tail side to side, again, noticing that translation all the way up to the skull. Good, and then open up to an easy down dog. Get length through the backs of the legs. Can pedal the feet one at a time. So easy doesn't mean like lazy, right? Because lazy down dog makes it harder. So just make sure you got that integrity through the elbows and palms. A little bit of that core containment. When you straighten a leg, really straighten it. And then find a stiller dog just to breathe and open up here. Letting the head hang. Finding that balance between hands and feet, and that high point in the middle. And then down to hands and knees. And bring the legs out in front. So, we're going to do the half Gomukhasana, Ardha Gomukhasana, half cow face pose. So, you're going to cross your right knee over your left knee. Yeah, and so make sure it's really at the midline. The full Gomukhasana is like this, yes? So we want to make sure that that knee is coming across as much as possible, that you're kind of on that pinky edge of that right foot, yes? And then if you have a ball, we're going to put it underneath your sitting bone. Oh, yeah. So, right, I will show you the spot when you're standing. The ball's going to go right under kind of the cheek there, right? You find that the bone that you're sitting on, and you're going to come just forward of it. So you're not right on the bone, you're right in front of it where the attachments of the hamstring are. You can also be sitting on a blanket. That's going to take some intensity off of that ball, right? Because it lifts you up off of it. So see if you like to do that. Now, from there, you can see, oh, my hamstring on this side's kind of like a base. It's a little bit ropey there, and you might go a little side to side and see. All right, and then you got a choice. You can just sit up tall here and relax the tissue around that ball. You can come forward a little bit. So coming forward is going to put length on that hamstring, intensifying the situation because of the length. It does take a little bit of straight up pressure off of it, yes, because the shoulders up over the hips has more gravity down through the hips. So you play with what's appropriate for you today. You also may choose to take that ball out and just be in this shape, which has plenty as well. You're still going to get a great hamstring stretch outside of the right hip. There's no need to add more, but ball release is interesting and useful. Scanning the body for unconscious holding patterns. Notice where your thoughts have gone. Three more breaths. Inhale, let your head be heavy, walk torso up, stack the vertebrae. Lean back and unwind the legs, take the ball out. And little windshield wiper. And then I like to grab myself and move stuff around. So I'm gonna grab underneath that left hamstring where I had the ball and just kind of squeeze it and move it around a little bit, helping the lymph system pull out the junk that you just released. And then just take a moment in a seated position and notice the difference between the backs of the legs. And I feel just more surface area open, like my left leg feels broader and softer. Let's try the other side. So now my left knee's on top, and I'm putting that ball under my right, not under the sitting bone, but just in front of it when you're sitting. If you were standing, it'd be anatomically below that sitting bone. Not to give you too much information, but just so you can kind of visualize that. Ooh, and then maybe you're gonna swipe a little bit with your butt side to side to kind of see what part of that sitting bone you want to be on or in front of. So the sitting bone, all your hamstrings attached there, or the muscles up the back of the leg, and then some of the adductors that run on the inside of the leg. All right, so and it's amazing how it attaches just all the way around it. So find the spot that's useful for you. Maybe you want to add a blanket under both sitting bones to reduce the pressure. Maybe you want to take it out altogether. You got plenty just sitting in this position. And then you have some time to take it deeper as your body opens up, right? And just think about it like you're in a car and you've come to a stop sign. And you're there, there's a couple people at the stop sign in front of you. And so you're there with it, and the next person moves, and you move forward just a little bit, and you gotta wait till all the other 3 people go, and then it's your turn, you move forward a little bit. Right, and at some point, maybe you feel that because it's a fascial release, that flooding release, and you're like, oh, cool, I'll continue through this intersection. And there might be another stop sign a block away, and then it's all good. So there's potential always. Notice where your thoughts have gone. 3 more deep breaths. Use an inhale to come up slowly. Unwind the legs, roll out the ball, put that off to the side. And knees wide, the windshield wipers. You can lean it over to the left side so you can grab that right hamstring glute and just rub it around. Then come onto your back, just flat on your back. Just lay there, just a little disco shavasana. Just take a few breaths to feel your body. Nice neutral position with gravity assisting the balance of the spine. And bend your knees, stand your feet. Draw the right knee into the chest. And then extend the left leg out along the ground and begin with some activity in that left leg. Really press it down into the mat and reach the heel away from you. And then in opposition, let your right knee soften in towards your right armpit. And you can roll that out a little bit. Take it out a little bit further. Maybe take it in. Just circle the thigh bone in the socket, but keep that left leg really strong. And let that be your roots. Then coming into the center again, so the knees in line with the chest, and hold on to the back of the leg and the hamstring and extend your leg up. Maybe it's back of the knee, maybe it's calf, maybe it's ankle. Some place that you can reach easily enough. Notice how I just held, I'm a little more flexible, but I held on to my shin and then I let my shoulders soften back, right? And so maybe that's better at the calf, but have it be a place where gravity takes the shoulders and you're not forcing anything. Reaching up through that heel, pulling the toes back, and now let's circle the ankle 3 times in each direction. Go real slow. And you might hit a little bit of nervy spots there. That's all right. And go the other way. That's right. All those ankle muscles are up in your calves and hamstrings. All right. So once you've done those 3, you're going to keep the leg straight. Left hand's going to go to the outside of the right leg. And you'll take that leg all the way across the body to the left side. Now, if this twist is too deep, you can grab a block or a bolster or something, a pillow, any of those things, right, to bring the ground closer to your leg. It's nice to have that leg where your left hand can grab it somewhere. Again, maybe it's at the thigh, knee, calf, so that that leg can feel really grounded into the support of the earth. And then take your right arm out to the side. Maybe cactus, it'll be a little bit more intense of an opening. If you extend the arm up towards that right top corner, probably be the most intense. I don't know, a little difference between the cactus and that corner. Probably about the same intensity. It's the difference is just whether you're stretching out the elbow bicep. So then be here and you letting that right shoulder soften down. So on your exhales, that just melts down to the earth. This isn't an engagement that's allowing that to go down. It's a disengaging, yes? Utilizing that slow sipping breath instead of the big gulp of breath. And always notice I can drink a lot more water when I have a water bottle with the straw. Like you get to take this measured amount in so your body can integrate it a lot more easily as opposed to a big gulp that has to pass through. Any point that you feel you want to deepen the twist, and press down into your left elbow as you inhale, and on an exhale, just gently take both shoulders to the left, even just a millimeter, and lay them back down, and you'll feel those right ribs wrap down towards the earth, left ribs scoop up towards the sky. Watching the breath and maybe imagining the inhales going up the left side of the spine. And hooking at the top and exhaling down the right side of the spine. Three more breaths. To come out of this, take your left hand on the inside of your left knee and hold it and let the knee bend. And then roll onto your back. Gently unwinding. And again, you might do a couple of circles around in that hip joint. And then stand both feet again. Get the spine back into neutral if it kind of shifted. Take feet as wide as the mat, let the knees drop in. Just finding this equanimity, equal position, but noticing that it probably doesn't feel very equal. Always bring some gentle pelvic tilting in where you're just rocking on the sacrum back and forth. And bring a little more neutrality. And bring the feet back in together. Pull your left knee into your chest. If you had support for that twist, you might want to just take it over to the other side now. Might not be the same on the other side, but you might as well switch it. So left knee into chest, extend that right leg out on the ground, push it down into the ground, and then reach it away from you. So you got some nice roots and length through the front of the right hip, softening the left knee into the armpit. And then circling that thigh bone a couple times in each direction. And then bringing the thigh back into the center, hold on to the back of the leg and reach up through that left heel to extend the leg. Find a place for your hands that allows for the shoulders to relax. And really that gravity is doing more of the work of holding this leg here. You got some interlacing of your fingers, but just breathing into the back of that left leg. Really all the way from your left shoulder blade through the back of the leg, sole of foot. Oh, and yeah, circle the ankle. A couple times each direction. Slow you go. Gathering information there. Now use your right hand on the outside of your left leg. Take it over to the right. Okay, maybe on some support, maybe not. Notice if you need more or less than the other side. And left hand somewhere along that left leg just to let it know that it's rooted. Left arm out to the side. Find the appropriate place for that arm. Little less intense even would be bending the elbow and taking the left hand into the left hip. Even tuck it into the back of your pants and just letting the elbow drop out to the side. Make shorter lever arm than the extended arm out to the side. This time following the inhales up the right side of the body. Turning around at the base of the skull and exhaling down the left side of the body. Any point you'd like to look for a deeper twist. Using an inhale to press down into that right elbow. And as you exhale, you can just gently slide both shoulders to the right. Doesn't have to be a lot. Letting left ribs melt towards the earth. Right ribs wrap up towards the sky. Three more breaths. Winding carefully by taking the right palm to the inside of the left knee, lift it up, bend the knee, gently roll back to the center. Circle that knee around a couple times. Then standing both feet, get yourself back into the center. Get the feet wide, knees drop in. Just notice how the body is feeling now. And roll to one side and sit up. So this is where we'll have some options. I'm going to show you how to go if we have a bolster. So we want the block. We want a bolster-like situation. So that could be the bolster. It could be my pillow from my bed with another blanket on top. You do something a little high. And then it'll make sense once I show you where we're going. Here, so we're gonna do a reclined hero's pose, but a variation, right? A lot of times we do heroes this way with the heels out. This time we're gonna go toes in, knees out, and I'm sitting my butt down on my heels. So you should feel your sitting bones right on your heels, yes? So my toes are together in front of my support. Knees are about as wide as my mat. And then I'm leaning back. Now check me. Right about here, I gotta lift my hips up and tuck my butt underneath. That's gonna give you some of your quad stuff. And then this, how far back you need to go is gonna depend on your body. Right? You do wanna really make sure you got that butt tucked under, right? Get the top of your butt and tuck it to the other side of your heels. So you might need to go up higher. You might, like I got my couch right here. So I could always put my toes together and just lean back on my couch like this. It's actually pretty rad. So find what works for you. Now, if your knees are like, no way, Jose, I can't even find a lean back that's gonna work for me. There is also, what we're accomplishing here is like quad hamstring stretch. Quad hip flexor stretch, yes? So you can also do that with a supported bridge. Get up to that medium setting, right? Get the feet, maybe letting them drop in a little bit, or you could even extend out. It's about the same. Yeah, so find something that works for you. This is a little bit more of intensity and sensation, and then that's appropriate, but just like always, you want to find a tolerable level, which means you can breathe deeply into it. You don't feel like you're shortening anything, and that you're not feeling it in the knee joint. Yeah, belly of the muscle, that's all good. Up at the hip flexors. Low back, you want to accommodate again by getting your butt down towards your knees. Hitting up all sides of the hip attachments today. Release the hamstrings. We got to also release the quads. Letting the tops of the shins be heavy. Gently letting the knees reach from the head. Forehead is soft, jaws relaxed. Feeling the breath at the belly like a pool that's moving back towards your spine. Three more breaths. Staying heavy as you inhale through the front side of the body. Staying long as you exhale through the back side of the body. So come out of this. Your palms down towards the mat, elbows down. Tuck your chin in, and I want you to pull your belly back towards your spine and arch your back a little bit so that both your back and your belly are on, and then come up. Ooh, come forward. And you could down dog around that support, right? Just go wide, extend out your legs. Pedal the feet. And maybe noticing a little more space. And walk your feet forward to your hands. Feet hip distance, or maybe a little bit wider if you have tighter hamstrings, but definitely not narrower. And a dangle. So make sure that the feet are really parallel to each other. Maybe even just a hair pigeon-toed. Bend your knees until your torso rests down on your thighs, and then let your head hang from there. We do our dangle. If you feel comfortable taking opposite elbows, that's really nice because it adds more gravity to the rib cage. Your legs can start to straighten, but don't let your torso move away from your thighs. Keep the head down, and then having some awareness of the hips are coming forward as your chest moves back. Yeah, not settling back into the hamstrings, but finding length through the front side and through the back side. And just a gentle engagement of Uddiyana Bandha at the navel center, so that as you inhale, just pull the belly back and send your breath into your rib cage. Let that weight you. Shoulders are just gently shrugging up towards ears with gravity. No engagement there. Switch the crossing of your arms. And finding, if you have tighter hamstrings, this gets intense pretty quickly. So find something tolerable, even if you're in a decent knee bend. Resting that torso down on the thighs, that's great. We're still stretching our hamstrings. We're just stretching across one joint at the hips instead of the joint at the hips and the joint at the knee. We'll get there as appropriate. Enjoying this inversion. Blood flow towards the head. Heart pumping it out towards your ends. And for our last 5 breath cycles here, grab onto your ankles from the outside, fingers wrap in. So I got my thumbs on the front. And you're gonna let your head hang down and pretend like you're trying to pull your socks up from that position. So we add a little bit more dynamics to the pose. Draw in a little bit deeper. If you want to hang with the passive pose, then you are welcome to do that. And keep moving the hips forward as your chest gets closer to your thighs. Forehead towards shins. Last breath. Slide your hands up to your hips, elbows high. Exhale completely and then inhale all the way up. And standing, take a moment, really get the hips up over the shoulders, level the chin to the ground. Feel into your legs. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Look up to the thumbs. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Come on down to hands and knees. And then we're going to set up for Shavasana. So use any props that you'd like here. My standard is a little something under my head. So like the blanket came off the mat. And then just rolling enough of the end of that to fill the space of my cervical spine, right? The neck curve. Just enough there. We're not looking for a pillow, right? We're looking for support. And then if I have another one under my knees, I like that. Allows my pelvis to be neutral. Whatever you'd like here. And something that's warm, supported, and that really should elicit kind of a just feeling overall, whether you have that literal sigh or not. Settling into stillness. Inviting in the weight to the front side. Allows for that quality of broadening from the midline out to the sides. Eyebrows, cheekbones, jaw, throat, just all of it melting laterally. Take a moment to honor where you are right now. Gently start to deepen your breath. Feel the lightness that creates. Sending awareness out to your ends. Spread the fingers and the toes. Rock your head gently from side to side. Take a full inhale, bring your arms up overhead and stretch through your body. Roll to your right side, come into the fetal position. Pause there. Take a moment to honor your intention. Gently pressing up to seated. Close your eyes, we'll come back to that mudra, just drawing the fingers into the palms, thumbs out, resting hands on the tops of the thighs, thumbs point in towards the center. Breathing deeply into your center and out again. Maybe feeling a little more balanced and stable in that area. You can move with the support. Drawing palms together at the center of the chest to Anjali Mudra, and a balance, the energy moving in and moving out. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.